We will call the Committee of the Whole to order. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Hupkey.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. March.
Here.
Mr. Ham. Oh. Mr. Bowden. Mr. Heck.
Approval of the minutes of the September 26th Committee of the Whole meeting. Any additions or corrections? Not a motion to accept as written. We might have a tough time with this one.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Hupkey, seconded by trustee Jones.
Mr. Hupkey.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. March.
Present.
President Crowe.
Present.
That's okay. The presents go with the ayes.
Ayes, yeah.
So,
We'll go with that. All right. Public comment? No public present at this time. General discussion. General discussion.
I have a general discussion.
Go ahead.
Just a quick question. Following with our transparency that we have, and we're pretty transparent here, with the true transparency, I would like to see all of our committee meetings broadcast on WPAL.
I mean, that's really up to the board to decide. I personally think committee meetings, they're open to the public. The public is welcome to attend them. But I think if we start, I just...
This way, the public doesn't miss anything. I mean, there's comments that are sometimes made that aren't maybe missed by the recorder or things, and I just feel that with the true transparency that the camera will pick up everything. If we have nothing to...
There's nothing to hide.
Well, then we shouldn't have a problem with it.
It's just putting... I'm trying to think of how I want to say it without it sounding wrong. No. There's nothing to hide, I guess. That's, if we want to put that many meetings out on the cable.
And there's plenty of room for them.
There's no, I disagree with that, as I think committee meetings need to be more of an open discussion, a lot more give and take, less formality.
Well, and they are. I mean, and they are. They're not ran like a typical board meeting. But they are open meetings.
They are, people are welcome to come.
Yep.
But, it's, from my point of view, I wouldn't always couch things the way I would at a formal meeting. I might be more open to what I would say. And might say it in a tone that was not conducive to a professional meeting.
And I guess, if they were broadcast, then we would have to...
Yeah, we got nothing to hide.
No, there's absolutely nothing
To me,
to hide.
it's the committee meetings.
Formal minutes and formal recording.
Still an open meeting.
You have to approve minutes at every committee meeting.
Yeah, it's more like sitting around a coffee table, chewing the fat, kicking things out.
And the public should know that.
Well, we're talking about it. I mean...
That we're now, right, so I mean,
That's-
and they should know that at every meeting.
No, I guess when we have a full board, here, we'll have a discussion about it, and we'll go with the majority of the board at that point in time.
Okay, thank you.
Anything, Chief?
Yeah, just a couple points, just to be brief. Is there any consideration that may be made on increasing our liquor license fees? Because every year we have the renewals, and when we have them, March.
I send out the letters in February,
Yeah, so
and
March.
they have to have everything back for the first meeting in April, so that they can have all their licenses by May 1.
So if we want to consider it, I can get with Donna and Greg and kind of do an oversee on what the fees are
Yeah, we had
around the
that
area.
discussion,
But
the last time we were talking liquor, we were talking about...
And I mean, we'll look at it, I think we're low,
Yeah.
and we are low.
Yes.
And now's the time to think about before the new year, but then you can get them posted and let everybody know, and then it goes along with it.
And I think one of the things in that discussion to talk about, we have all of these cafes around us, and I know some of the communities, have a special license, for that, and they charge a premium, for those licenses, and possibly putting a number on that, as like 1 or 2 or whatever the board decides, but specifying how many of those, if you have any, how many of those you could have.
I mean, of the machines?
No, the
Well, the cafe.
Cafe style licenses.
Right.
They're allowed 5, but.
Well, we'll do some homework on it and do that. I had last year's, but, I'll do the surrounding communities and do a comparison so we can report that later so that we're not waiting till we're getting ready to do next year's fees when we say we should
Right.
have brought this up for discussion.
Could these fees be based on population?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, it just doesn't work out. I mean, town of Beecher's a couple hundred more than us, and they're higher than us on all our fees. And it's just, when's the last time the fees were raised?
They've been this way since I've been here. I brought it up
So a couple
once or
days?
twice.
Just a couple of years?
I'm in my 28th year.
Okay, so maybe by inflation, they may be in the,
No, and the liquor license, it's a very valuable tool, for.
I just
anybody
was,
that has
when
one.
we were just sitting here, I just,
Generates a lot of income for that business.
Selling liquor is a privilege, not a right.
And I absolutely use that same line.
I've seen that in
Yeah.
other states where they've
Yeah.
got it right above the,
Yeah.
Just like your driver's license.
Yeah.
And the machines, they're bringing in a lot of revenue for the establishments too.
Only 20
We don't
casinos
have
now.
anything right now that the cafes, what I'm thinking of as a cafe,
Right.
we don't have anything that would even fit in.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, we need to create, I think we need to create that category, so it's in place and so we have the fee attached to it.
The board has to decide whether they want a full pour or partial pour, beer and wine is okay. I mean, that's how some of the, like some of the villages have a full pour. You gotta have a full liquor bar, before you can have the gaming machines. Others are beer and wine and food preferably, but a lot of the food becomes, gas station wrapped sandwiches, and you gotta be careful of that too. So you guys kinda have to think a little bit about how you want the license to read, so we can structure something that works for you.
At this point, and I've expressed this before, I'm against another liquor license in another gambling place, especially because, the rumor is out that they would put one in the old Harms building. Well, that's dead center between the bowling alley and the Legion and the other 2 bars. So who wins? That person, because being at that proximity, they're just going to cannibalize the revenue that these outfits, the Legion and the bowling.
Well, and a lot of that's gonna come down to the zoning too,
Well, that's another thing. They could go through P and Z say, yeah, this meets all the requirements in that area, blah, blah, blah. Should they come to us first and get a feel, whether even if it meets the zoning, that say, because if I went to P and Z and the P and Z said, yeah, this is great, it meets the zoning, blah, 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 I would think I'm in like Flint.
And you still have the final.
But you do.
Right.
And I hate to ever overturn
and
P&Z.
actually, technically P and Z is the first step. If you're going in order of how things should be done, P and Z is the first step and then it comes to the board. So, I think if somebody came to the board and said, what do you think? I think the board could actually, maybe give them an honest answer, but, the true process is P and Z, and then to the board.
Yeah.
And I would not say definitive no to that type of an establishment, but the location of it would make a big difference to me, on where it would
They're just
go.
so congested, and this is a revenue source for the 5 or 7 locations that have it. And it's just right in the center of them, and I think we need to support the people that brought us to the party, and to remove that revenue. The Legion does a lot of good, and they've spent a lot of money, and they've improved it, and they've got other ideas. Got new bar owners that are going to have throwbacks. And they all need the revenue, you know, to expand.
No, and the majority of our liquor license holders in town do a lot of good for the community.
Exactly.
You know, they support the community, they do, you know, community service, I mean.
Huge, huge. We've had excellent cooperation and I mean, good on the list of the events and the things over the years. And just to have some Johnny lately come in and take that away from them, or a portion of, to me, does a disservice to existing businesses that have invested here.
Could I ask, when we do a summation of what the fees look like around the area, what committee?
I was just
do you
thinking
want-
of that.
Where do you want it to go to? I don't think it's proper for police. I can take it to the,
I guess it'd be maybe administrative oversight.
yeah, I can take it at oversight, if that's,
And a follow-up to Trustee Jones, I pretty much completely agree with that, especially downtown. We don't need something.
Well, that's what I'm saying, to me, location
We don't.
would be a huge thing. If we got into a position where our boundaries expanded, you know,
Sure.
then you might be looking at,
But Second Street, on the other hand, depending what could go in there, that's something for further discussion.
yeah, well, and that's, if and when somebody brings something to us, you know, that's gonna have to be looked at and talked about, and,
Because there are rumors out there.
oh, there's a gazillion.
They're
rumors
picking
out
up a
there.
license application tomorrow.
Okay.
So.
It's a strong number.
oh, I'll get that, and we'll do some comparisons for the oversight to review, and then we'll set that, but if Donna's calculations are correct, then it's way overdue.
Yeah. No,
Well,
most
nobody
definitely.
wanted to raise anything when times were tough, but that was before all the gambling stuff. So I think everybody's doing okay now. Because there's not a one liquor holder that doesn't have a gambling machines as well now.
Okay, we'll get that, and, November, you probably would see it in the first part of December. That gives you way before the new year to look at it and evaluate what the rate should be in comparison to other towns. You know, there's a whole variety of fees that are attached, but we are, like I said, we are low.
Yeah.
And some of them, you know, are really, I mean, it's just, it's time to, you know, like I said, liquor license is an important tool that the village issues, and it's not gonna make, you know, 6-digit numbers, but it is a valuable tool, and our prices are not in comparison to anybody else. We're, yeah, after 20-plus years, it's
Yeah,
probably
it's-
time to look
I didn't
at.
think it
But,
was that.
but anyway, it's, sometimes we always forget it, because next thing you know, we're doing new liquor license, and then we're going, gosh, we forgot to discuss it, so we'll get that done.
Does that money just go into general revenue fund?
Anything else? I'll mention it at the meeting again, but we were talking about the weekend, how great the event was and what a success it was, and brought a lot of people into town, and even the businesses not in the downtown area, you know, the ones that, a couple of them that I've heard from, said that it really bolstered their business, you know, that day also. So that's what we want to do, and that's what we like to hear, and a lot of comments from people saying, you know, it's just great to see the community out and together. And the weather, thank goodness, was
Couldn't have been any better.
perfect. So we made up for last year.
You had the wins of last year.
Yeah. So now hopefully with the Christmas coming up on December the 10th, we'll luck out with the weather. Once again, we had the perfect weather last year, so hopefully it doesn't go in reverse this year.
It's a crapshoot.
Oh, it is. Well, like any other outdoor event, you know, the weather's always going to be a hit and miss type thing.
Well, I had a question. And I got one, I don't know, a month or so ago. Can we get a report of where we're at on the budget of, you know how you, when you make up the budget, you got X amount of dollars in all the categories. that would show where we're at.
Percentage-wise?
Year to date and the percent. And
Don't
then
you get that?
possibly even I've
We
got
get one
one.
every month.
Yeah, we do one every month.
I don't think they get the detail for by departments here. As department head, we get them every month. Shows us
We
what,
can add you to that.
My-
We can get you
Okay,
that.
I got one and I thought, well, this is really good.
I'm not sure your reports you get are by,
I think she
Total
gives it to you
budget?
guys quarterly, but you can get them monthly if you'd
Yeah.
like.
Okay.
Yeah. so
And then if there's, I mean, let's say you budgeted 100,000 and for
It
whatever.
goes by percentages.
And then we still got like $80,000
Yeah.
left. And maybe a notation saying, we've got this expense coming up or whatever, so we, just to know that we're not skewed or that we've got excess money somewhere. We budgeted 100, we've only spent 20, we got nothing on the horizon. Just to kind of see where we're at.
Yeah, the skew comes in where you see it's already 100% spent, and people say, oh my God, you're gonna go over budget, and actually you don't, because a lot of that's front-loaded at the beginning of the year, too.
Right.
So you got a little bit of a mix of both. You got some front-loaded, you got some that are coming up. Your revenues are especially like that, with the taxes coming in at different times and things, so, yeah.
no,
No, you're good. Did you have something for the board?
Yeah, one little small.
Yeah, if you want to step to the microphone and give your name for the record.
Lionel Brashears, 501 Walnut. One small request, there's a piece of concrete or asphalt missing immediately east of Tony's Pizza, right next to the fire hydrant.
Okay.
It's like a regular sidewalk piece. But there's a handicapped guy that lives in that first
Yeah.
building. And it's a Wolf, I
Bob.
forgot his first, Bob Wolf. Can't get to the gas station, the restaurant and stuff
So
like that.
it's in the street or it's on?
No, it's the sidewalk piece.
Okay,
From end of Tony's driveway, with his parking lot,
okay,
to the connecting sidewalk. It's one section.
okay.
See if we can get something like that.
Was it there before and it just came out?
It's
or-
crumbled, it's
Okay,
old stuff, maybe when they redid the parking lot or something. But
okay.
I've seen him struggle, and I've been out there, and his brother comes by, and we put plywood and stuff down once in a while. But something to take care of.
Okay, we will mention it to Public Works.
That's all I got.
Thanks.
All right, good. Thank you, appreciate it.
Speaking of which, do we know when sidewalks?
They had the pre-construction meeting last week, so it should be coming up soon. We'll get it from Troy at the meeting. But should be happening fairly soon. If we could maybe add that on.
Because we were a little under budget.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we can
Throw
fix
another
a piece
square
like
in there.
that. Actually, Public Works can do a.
you got a full,
something like that.
Yeah.
just bring the concrete truck over there.
Yeah.
They could take a couple buckets of concrete from our pour and go over there and do what they need to do, so.
How is early voting for the first day?
65 people today. That is a record for a first day. It was busy all day long.
So we've got that's today, this week through Thursday, correct? And then next week,
Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday next week. And that's 9 to 3.
Yes, sir.
Who sets those hours? Do we set
I
those
do.
hours?
I do, because it gives me an hour in the morning to get all this stuff fired up, because it takes a while to get it
Uh-huh.
going. And I can go through the emails and get those routed and answer what inquiries come in. And then at 3 o'clock, then I need to go up and close out the books and get the money counted, and whatever there is left that I can get done before it's time to go home.
Because I know there was just a couple people that commented that, they wished it was later or.
I just can't do it. I can't get all of this done
Mhm.
and get that done too.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if the county said it or.
No, I do.
Okay.
I cannot have voting outside of county's hours,
Okay.
and they start at 8:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So it could never be before them. Now, I think right now they've extended their hours, but they used to stop at 4:30, and it could never go beyond that.
Okay.
But I think these last couple of elections, I think they have extended their hours, and they're open on Saturdays and everything else now, too. So,
Now, do those votes get set over right away, or?
after early voting is done, they come and they pick up the
Oh,
ballot
okay.
boxes. Yeah, but I have to leave the equipment all plugged in until county sends me an email and says it's okay to take everything down, so.
Any sign of voter fraud?
Not yet. Not yet. Heard a lot of talk about it, but everybody's been pretty good.
Yeah, that's quite a few.
It is. It doesn't sound like much,
No, but
it's a lot for early voting, especially on the first day. Usually everybody's waiting till next week.
Do you have anything for the board, Greg?
No, I've just been working on that couple projects, and things are moving along nicely. We met with some people this morning, and we're getting some encouraging news down the line, and hopefully, at the next board meeting, we'll have something to discuss a little bit, especially in executive session, so get you guys up to date. But things are moving better than anticipated, so I'm encouraged. Am I okay to say that?
Yeah, no, I'm encouraged also. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopeful
Hopefully.
and encouraged.
So, I think I'm excited about it. It's good for us. I also met with a local builder, likes to build apartment buildings in town. We drove around this afternoon, looked at some different properties, looking for some different areas, so. Trying to push him to can't do a specific age group, but a limited number of age group. We're looking at, some adult housing and things like that. And we did look at a couple parcels in the downtown area, so just to give you an idea, and he was gonna come speak to you also, so just so you know, you get a heads up. But looking at some different options and things like that. We're trying to bring some bodies downtown. It's one of the things we're looking at. And, it'd be nice to have an adult facility. When I say adult, I mean seniors 55 plus, but independent, not a advanced care or anything. It'd be nice to have those people downtown because they would walk and shop at the local places once we have them. So it's a good idea to talk about it.
And that would be a good way to attract business
Yes.
to the downtown.
Because we have
Fill-
numbers.
Right.
Yeah, so.
So we have some empty storefronts to fill.
Other than that.
I had a discussion on Saturday with a gentleman stopped in to see me. And, he was in town for the festival, and he was talking about a particular type of business that he would like to open. So it was just, encouraging to kind of get that feedback too. So I think he's going to, reach out to some of the building owners and talk to them.
Trustee Ham gave me a couple of leads as well. I've been following up on, and I also gave them to the development people because they're out by 57. So everybody's working. Everybody's, give me the stuff, I'll get them in the right hands. So if you know of anybody or met anybody or talked to anybody, even the smallest thing, you never know what it'll turn into. So
What's the story on the Windmill Restaurant?
the last I heard, they're in most of the families in the old country, and the daughter is still here, but they were supposedly going to remodel and open by November 1st, but I don't know. That's unsubstantiated.
Yeah, and I haven't seen any activity out there.
They're mowing the
as of
grass
late.
now, but that's about it, so. I did have an inquiry from another restaurant owner as to what they were going to do with it, and I passed along the information. Those two are talking, and I haven't heard yet, so. Just the restaurant owner I knew, so. It's a interesting location. I think something should go there. And
Oh,
could do
absolutely,
well
yes.
if it's the right thing, so.
Chief, I don't know, I had asked a couple of meetings ago about the parking on Mill Street by the football field. There's yellow lines there, and I was saying I drive by there at least 2 or 3 times a day, and there's always people parked there after, like practices and stuff like that, so I don't know, you guys want to look at that, or?
Yeah, we did cite a few that were parked on the curb, we call it, in the yellow spot for the
Yeah.
Old Mill Soccer. All those people were.
Right.
I was there yesterday morning, and there were a couple of vehicles being cited as I was there, so.
Yeah, so,
I mean, hopefully people get the message.
Yeah, now that the fall sports is over,
Mhm.
You won't see that
No.
influx of the traffic from the high school getting over to the fields. Every fall season, that's where we run into a lot of traffic trying to get to the fields before the buses
Right.
get there, and you know what it's like
Yep.
from all the history of Peotone. And we'll watch that over there, seeing the people in their parking by the yellow. Some people have to be reminded that yellow does mean don't park there.
Right.
But we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, they do like to, you said that getting over, they like to race through the Old Mill subdivision to get over there. That's quite a race.
Yeah, it's quite
Like
a,
a Grand
you
Prix
know,
going through there.
and part of our discussion with the school in the early part of the fall season was consideration of if things didn't improve, we just route all that traffic so they couldn't take the direct access, so you have to push them out right on North Street to Ratchy Road.
And here's a question, since we're talking about that. When the school was originally built, that was supposed to be chained off, going out onto North Street, if I remember correctly. I mean, that's how traffic was supposed to go, was out the back to Ratchy Road, and not through the subdivision.
Not through the subdivision, go out the rear way to the north.
Correct, to Ratchy Road.
Go behind the
Go
school?
behind the school to Ratchy, so all of those vehicles were not going through
The subdivision.
the subdivision.
And part of it, you know, and that's something we can bring Mr. Stein and them in, because that is still the problem where they leave there. Now, the only thing that comes in that way now, all the buses that get ready for elementary school, they all line up on that back driveway as they start heading for the elementary. They have a different way of how they do things, but they line up on the back driveway of the school lot going in there. But one of the things I'll put on my thing is discussing the school and that issue about leaving, because, you know, years ago they used to chain it,
Right,
and
exactly.
then they didn't open up till school was all let out.
And that's how it was supposed to be. I think that was the discussion when it was built. And then it just
And
changed.
kind of nobody
Right.
was chaining it anymore.
Because every now and then I'll hear that from, you know, somebody that lives in that subdivision. Anything else? We have on here an executive session, but I think I'm gonna, like I said, we're gonna save that for, in the regular board meeting, when the other trustees are present. Trustee Bowden's on vacation, but trustee Hammond, trustee Heck both said that they would be here, or should be here for the 7 o'clock board meeting. They were both working.
Sounds good.
Is the tree pickup finished?
Branch, this is the last week for branch pickup. So which side of town is that? I always lose track.
My side,
So
south, though.
South side is being picked up this week. And then leaf pickup has started, you know, that's going on right now also.
It's gonna be a long haul, all the leaves haven't fallen yet.
No, it's a little bit late this year, it seems like, with all the warm weather that we've had.
We should put something in the Vedette and on our website about the leaf pickup, that it's just leaves and not grass.
It is on the website, and I posted it on the Facebook page, I think, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or that was Branch. I'll have to post the website. But yeah, it's leaves and,
Leaves.
yeah, leaves.
And that they need to know that it needs to be in the parkway.
Right, not the street.
Not the street.
I saw some down the street here that had them on the parkway
Yeah.
already, got by the curb.
Of course, if we have wind like we did the last couple of days, they're gonna end up
Right,
in the
they-
street anyway.
Tend to blow. And I do want to give a shout out, a thank you to Public Works. They helped a lot with getting the garbage cans and hauling some barricades down for us, and then picking up and cleaning up afterwards. And the police department was great. Had a good presence downtown throughout the day.
Speaking of which, I'm working with Bob and Jim tomorrow on picking through some of the applications that we have and trying to make a selection, at least interviews, the initial interviews for those people. So
How many applicants have we had?
7 or 8, not too many really, but we'll try to get at least 3 good ones out there and do some interviews. And I was informed today that one of our employees may want to move over to the sewer side, so that'll be also a consideration as we go forward. And then we wouldn't have to hire a sewer guy, we'd hire a regular public. We're gonna have to hire somebody anyway, but regular public works guy. So we'll move that forward and get that to you guys as we move along here.
Anything else for the committee of the whole? Okay, if not, a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole.
Motion. Second.
Motion by trustee Hupkey, seconded by trustee March.
Mr. Hupkey?
Yes.
Mr. March?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
And President Cross?
Yes. We will reconvene the regular village board meeting at 7 PM.